there is only one investment that can get you 100x returns and it's totally risk-free. For a $10 price, they offer the best return of investment for your money, and those are books. I have gained more useful knowledge about money reading books than from the traditional education system. So in this video, I list the best personal finance books I have read in recent years. I'll explain to you the core concept in each book and why you should read it. If you are someone who wants to start investing and make some money, or just to be happy with the money you have, you should watch this video. So let's get started. So, the first book on the list is Rich Dad Poor Dad, written by Robert T. Kiyosaki. The book is written from Kiyosaki's perspective on how he was raised by two mentors or fatherly figures. One is his birth father, who was well educated, worked a day job, and earned a decent amount of money, but never really got ahead financially. And the rich dad is the father of a friend who understood the rules of money, had his own business, and was a multimillionaire. In the book, Kiyosaki compares the two strategies and explains how he made good financial decisions using the advice from his rich dad. The key takeaway from the book is the difference between assets and liabilities. Assets are anything that generates money and increases in value over time, like stocks, a business, or a real estate. Anything that takes money out of your pocket is a liability, like the monthly payments on your car or your mortgage. Rich people buy more assets that generate revenue, and with that, they buy even more assets. But poor people use all their money to buy liabilities and become poorer. So in a way, the rich make money work for them, and the poor and middle class work for money. I think this is by far the most important lesson from the book. Everyone should take a moment and think about all the assets and liabilities in their life and try to tilt the balance more in favor of assets. Invest in the stock market, start a business, buy and rent out an apartment. Most people want to play it safe and feel secure. So passion does not direct them, fear does. He calls a traditional path of getting a job and retiring an outdated mantra. Instead of working on someone else's business and making other people rich, we should try to build our own. And for that, we have to improve our financial literacy and take better financial decisions. This is an excellent finance book for anyone who wants to build wealth, and it can force you to think outside of the normal way. But I will have to say that the teachings on the book are on a pretty high level. If you want really practical advice, then I recommend the next two books on the list. This book was written by Ramit Sethi, a self-taught expert in personal finance. This was one book that was recommended by many, but I kept away from reading it because somehow the title didn't connect with me well. Then I came across some of his interviews on YouTube and was totally impressed by the simplicity with which he presents his ideas. This book has tons of practical advice, from using your credit cards to choosing the right bank and investment accounts to ultimately building a financial system that automatically grows your money. And according to the author, the first step to getting there is taking responsibility of a financial life. Doesn't matter if you are a 24-year-old recent graduate who blows all of his fancy salary on video games and takeout, or a 34-year-old who sits on a pile of cash because he or she is afraid of losing the money. And according to the author, we need not be an expert or perfect at our finances to get rich. Just taking responsibility and getting started is more important than getting it right. We can do this by opening multiple saving accounts and moving money to them automatically. And whatever remains in the spending or current account, we can use it for our guilt-free spending. The main reason why I didn't save and invest much in the early days when I started earning an income was because I didn't like the idea of living frugally and sacrificing every happiness for a better tomorrow. But Ramit has an alternative for that in his book. Just think of all the things that make you truly happy. It could be as expensive as a trip to the Maldives or as cheap as a morning cappuccino. Now spend all that guilt-free money that remains after your investments on the things that you love and cut back mercilessly on those you don't. Just make sure that you don't go too overboard with the lavish spending part. But not everyone have the time to monitor the finances and manage the investments. Most of us need a simple, no bullshit approach that can be executed easily. And that's what you get from the next book on the list. This book was written by J.L. Collins, who is not yet a household name like Kiyosaki or Benjamin Graham in the field of personal finance. But if you start reading blogs among the early retirement community, you cannot help but learn about the man. Through his blogs and books, Collins offers a simple roadmap to building wealth and achieving financial independence. Spend less than you earn, invest the surplus, and avoid debt. The book is more geared towards someone unfamiliar with investing and provides an easy to understand guide to choosing the right investment strategy and avoiding common mistakes. In the book, Collins stresses the importance of having a long-term perspective when it comes to investing. According to him, your goal should be to save up freedom money. This is the money that will help you to regain your freedom and would come around 25 times your annual expenses. And to get there, we must divide our financial journey into 2 stages. The wealth accumulation stage comes while you are working, saving, and adding money to your investments. Collins asked us to keep it simple and allocate 100% of our investment portfolio to a low-cost index fund such as the Vanguard Total Stock Market Index Fund or its ETF. The wealth preservation stage comes once your earned income slows or you are closer to your retirement. At this stage, adjust 20 to 50% of your portfolio to include more safe investments such as bonds. The message throughout the book is straightforward. Harness the world's most powerful wealth building tool, the stock market. It always goes up, always. But the next book on the list is the one that made the most impact on my life. It takes a totally different approach to the traditional financial advice and goes after the core reason why people behave with money the way they do. Let me just tell you this, you won't get any stock recommendations or 100x strategies from this book, but this book will change the way how you look at money and finances in general. People from different generations, raised by different parents who earn different incomes and held different values in different parts of the world, learn very different lessons. And when that's the case, a view about money that one group of people thinks is outrageous can make perfect sense to another. I know relatives in my family who prefer to keep most of the savings in cash or in gold and stay away from the stock market. When they grew up, the stock market didn't do much, so it's natural that they think differently of the market as such and would stick to the traditional investment options even though it doesn't make much financial sense now. Another important point made in the book is how we care too much about other people's opinion about us and how we overspend to match up to that opinion. This is one reason why people never seem to be satisfied with what they earn. So they tend to take more risk without considering the trade-offs. We have to understand that there are more important things in life than money. Reputation is invaluable. Freedom and independence are invaluable. Family and friends are invaluable. And your best shot at keeping these things is knowing when it's time to stop taking risks. I just love this. So next time, before you run after that NFT that may go to the moon or that investment strategy that can give you 100x returns, remember these words. The book also stresses the difference between rich and the wealthy. And according to the author, it's not the same. Rich is a current income. If you earn in a million range currently, you're probably rich. You can easily say if someone is rich by the clothes or the car they drive. But wealth is hidden. It's the income not spent, the nice cars not purchased, the diamonds not bought, and the first class upgrade declined. So you can never be sure if someone is wealthy because you can't see it from outside. There are so many such gems of valuable information in this book that I can't summarize in such a short time. So I have made a separate video on the book that you can check out here. Let me know in the comments which are the best financial books that you have read. Thanks for watching, and until I see you again in another video, smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and have a wonderful rest of the day. Ciao.